So can you tell us about how significant this is? Because it appears that a lot of people are really feeling that this is a really good sign. They were nervous about this one.
They were actually for real, Laverne, and it's really a big deal, as I mentioned. Imagine 700,000 children being deported, or young adults being deported that are here in the United States that are working. So it's a big sigh of relief for a lot of those individuals. And it also, from a legal standpoint, a lot of legal scholars are just really kind of watching in awe as we see the Supreme Court now, as Anthony mentioned earlier, ruling once again against something that's strongly supported by the Trump administration. And we're starting to see Justice Roberts really take on the role of our old Supreme Court judge, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, as the swing vote on the court, which has a lot of significance in the upcoming rulings.
Well, and we are certainly all on the lookout for a reaction from the gentleman who resides in the White House. So, Laura, with that in mind, what was the Supreme Court's reasoning for blocking the Trump administration's efforts to end the DACA program?
Well, Anthony, essentially what the Supreme Court said is the President Trump's administration failed to give what they called a legally sufficient reason for ending the program. Their reasoning they gave the court was that Obama did not have the executive power to start the program in the beginning, meaning it was an overreach of the office of the president. And so the Supreme Court said that is not a legally justifiable reason. And so that was the rationale for this. Of course, the Trump administration says, we did give you a good reason, and to be quite honest with you, Supreme Court, we don't think you have the authority to make this decision, to review our decision to end this program. So what we see playing out, Anthony, is this balancing of powers, which is a great thing. That is how the framers of our Constitution wanted these powers to work. They wanted them to be a checks and balances, the executive power of the president, the judicial power of the Supreme Court, and then, of course, the legislative power of Congress.
Well, are there any other legal options available to the Trump administration to end this program?
There are, and the Supreme Court justices, in their opinion, stated, you know, we're acknowledging you have not given a legally sufficient reason to justify ending this DACA program, but you're welcome to come back with a legally sufficient reason. Now, as often the Supreme Court does, Laverne, they didn't tell what that reason is, but they said if you come back with one that meets legal scrutiny, we'll go ahead and allow you to end this program. He can also seek to have some type of bill passed through Congress that will give him what he wants in terms of immigration reform.